everyone, thanks for joining me today for my review of Wonder Woman 1984. Before I get into it, please smash that like and hit that subscribe button and be warned that this review will contain some spoilers. Let me say off the bat that I'm not a DC head, and when it comes to the DC superhero movies, I'm pretty much a normie. A great deal of my knowledge of DC comes from the Batman and Superman animated series in the 90s, and I've never really gotten into the comic aspects of it. I'm more of a Marvel and Spider-Man girl, so I just wanted to give you a bit of a background into what lens I saw this movie through. I enjoyed the first Wonder Woman immensely, and I thought it was one of the best superhero movies I've ever watched, especially acts 1 through 3. But with all the woke culture and some of the drama regarding Cheetah's design and Patty Jenkins' comments about Maxwell Lord's character being based on Donald Trump, I went into this movie expecting to see a woke trash fire, and I'll be honest, I was surprised that it wasn't worse. Now, that's probably not what you want to hear about a movie, that it wasn't as bad as it could have been, and perhaps that's not really a compliment, but that's really what I thought about it. I enjoyed it for what it was, a 2.5 hours of mindless entertainment with some great action scenes. I think if you're a normie, you'll enjoy it, but if you're a hardcore DC and comic book fan of Wonder Woman, you probably won't, and I'll go as far as to say you might even hate it. The first movie's setting and timeline was much more exciting and well done. You even got attached to the secondary characters and felt something for them and watched on the edge of your seat in awe when Wonder Woman entered the battlefield and repelled off enemy bullets. It was something special, but Wonder Woman 1984, not so much. This is an era of peace after all, so much of the mystique and foreboding is already gone with the change by itself, and it kind of makes sense why some people have been calling it boring. Wonder Woman's going from killing baddies in WW1 to busting mall thieves. And it's fine because she's an everyday hero and it's showing that she's protecting the city even from petty thieves, but with such a drastic change of the timeline and setting, you better have a really good villain as an opponent, and Wonder Woman 1984 does not. But anyway, let's get into some of the stuff I liked and some of the stuff I didn't like, and this is where I'm going to get into spoiler territory, so again, be warned, it's going to be a spoiler review. I liked the beginning and seeing little Diana competing with the best of her society. I think it was great character development, and I liked seeing Diana be sad about Steve's loss even after so much time had passed. You really got a sense of her struggle and how lonely she was. I didn't mind how they brought back Steve Trevor. The wish and the crystal were the focal points of this story, and I like that it wasn't a permanent he's back kind of situation. I didn't mind that he was in another person's body, though I think it would have made much more sense if our heroes were a bit more disturbed by this turn of events instead of being so gung-ho about what happened, like, oh hey, you're back in someone else's body? Who cares? Let's do it. Bow chicka bow wow. It just felt so off that she was so uncaring about what happened to the other person's soul or spirit. Is he dead? Is the soul trapped somewhere in limbo? There was a lack of empathy from both characters about what's happened to this other person, which I thought was a little off when it comes to Wonder Woman's character, who's supposed to value truth above all else. And in this case, the truth was that this poor man's body was being possessed by Steve's ghost, and she didn't really seem to care. She only begins to care a little when they realize her powers have been taken away from her as the result of the wish, and if that wasn't the case, it was as if she would have been fine with having this poor guy's soul be lost to the abyss if it meant that Steve would be returned to her. And it actually is Steve who points this out to her a few times, telling her she knows what she has to do, while she's still trying to deny it. Again, not really Wonder Woman-esque of her, and as it happens, Maxwell Lord does offer her something similar in the end, but by then she's realized that's not really what she wants because it's not the truth. I think the idea might have been executed better if the movie had made us actually see the other actor instead of Chris Pine, and only see Chris Pine as a cameo when they first show him with the camera circling around them, or when he's looking in the mirror and sees himself instead of the guy. Those camera tricks are fun, but the impact of how this is another person would have been greater. But hey, it's a Hollywood movie and people are paying to see the big stars, so you can't expect much. But the idea that Wonder Woman is just in this wishful fantasy that this man is Steve and wishfully projecting his old body onto him was a little absurd. And the scene in the end when she meets him again felt a little strange. I half expected her to ask him out for coffee or something so as to show that she's finally ready to move on, but seeing him subconsciously wear the outfit she chose for him was a little weird and again felt off. I was also disappointed with how anticlimactic the golden armor was. When I first saw the trailer, I thought, ooh, this is gonna be so cool to see her get this armor. But in the movie, she had already found it and was just keeping it wrapped up in her office. And then, before she heads to the great showdown with the baddies, she makes a pit stop to wear it, which we don't even get to see. Like, what? I was expecting something cool, a backstory of how she found this armor or how it was bestowed upon her. Some of the really cool things about superhero stories are how they get their upgrades, like Aquaman and his trident, or how Batman gets his different tech upgrades and different variations of the character. This seemed like, let's just throw her in this suit and have a cool new outfit for her. It might have been even cooler if Cheetah had stolen the armor and she had to get it back from her, or something. Honestly, anything would have been nice. What I did enjoy about her character development was how she learned to fly using Steve's words. I thought that was really sweet and made me feel good, so I was like, yeah, Wonder Woman's gonna go kick butt now. And then she goes to the battle with Cheetah but still uses the lasso to go from one place to the other during the fight. I was like, girl, you just learned how to fly. Why aren't you using the skill? But apparently, according to some people I've spoken to, she's not supposed to be able to fly. That's why she has her invisible jet. And okay, that's a fair point and doesn't seem like something a diehard Wonder Woman fan would like changed in her character. But as a normie, I honestly didn't mind it. And although I really liked the plane scene with Steve, I did think it was kind of weird that she was like, I've only made a coffee mug disappear once in like 50 years, but let me get this giant plane to disappear. That was another like, what moment? Speaking of Cheetah, I actually didn't mind Kristen Wiig's performance as Cheetah. I thought she was great, especially when she was nerdy Barbara, and her transition to finding out she got powers was quirky and fun. And although it seemed like she kind of snapped at simply being catcalled by a guy who attacked her earlier in the movie, it showed that her warmth in her character was changing due to the wish. I thought that was in line with her character development, and all in all, she was an alright villainess, a little basic, but not dreadfully so. And I thought that the CG wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. I didn't like Maxwell Lord's character. He just didn't seem to fit the bill of a great villain, and I don't know if it was the casting or what, but something just felt off. I went into this trying not to think about Patty Jenkins' comment about the character's resemblance to Donald Trump, and it was really hard not to see it. I kind of wish I hadn't read that comment, and I think I may have enjoyed it better if I didn't know that about the character. And I think Patty did a disservice to the character and her movie by saying that. He also just didn't seem like the kind of guy who really cared all that much about his kid, who, by the way, was really cute, but I felt like his casting was solely for woke points. And even though we get shown that all he wants to do is make the kid proud, his words seem hollow because he doesn't really care about his kid at all pretty much the entire movie, and then ends up undoing everything he achieved for the kid. And where was the kid's mom? The mom would just drop the kid off at the office and leave, even though every time she dropped him off, she was leaving the kid with an assistant. She doesn't know where Maxwell is or if the kid will even get to see him, but she kept dropping him off anyway. It just felt odd. Anyway, those were some of my likes and dislikes about the movie. Like I said, all in all, I enjoyed it, and the Easter egg in the end was awesome. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to hit that like if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye!